What's up guys, it's your favorite Kiwi coach, and give me 6 months of your time and I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to Kiwi Golf Japan, we do a bunch of videos where we analyze PGA Tour professional golf swings. We take a look at our client before and after videos. We do videos like this where we react to American golf instructors talking about this concept of face rotation. So if you're interested in the golf swing, you're interested in golf instruction, this is the perfect video for you, and let's go ahead and jump in. So in this particular video, we're going to be reacting to Mike Malaska Golf, and he's talking about how to eliminate face rotation. How do the hands work around the impact zone? So if you're interested in how the right hand should be releasing or how the left hand should be moving, this is the perfect video for you. Let's go ahead and react to Mike Malaska.
Okay, so what you think is a really strong grip and in your fingers. You almost can't.
All right, so let's break this down. So this particular video, I think you guys already get the theme. This is going to be a lesson with one of his clients. Now, they kind of go into this video in the middle of the lesson, so it's a little bit difficult to understand the context around it. So let me quickly bring you up to speed. This particular player, based on everything that they're talking about, on the backswing was really pronating their left wrist or really opening up the face angle quite a lot. And then on the fall through, what was happening was they're really rotating their forearms and wrists in the opposite direction and just getting the face angle to really close rapidly through the impact zone. So if you can imagine like a little bit of a hula hoop here, right? A little bit of an arc. What this player was doing was right before impact, the face angle was pointed really far open like this. It needs to be pointed more at the target. So then what they do is they close it down really, really quickly like this through that zone. And then it was really difficult to have a consistent starting line as well as a consistent curvature amount because the face angle was so inconsistent. So what they're trying to work on currently right now is getting the grip a little bit on the stronger side. And then actually they're going to talk about some images on the takeaway that they should have as well, and then the fall through as well. But I don't want to get into all the good stuff yet. So let's go ahead and watch what they're about to say.
Can't get it too strong. Okay, and then the whole concept here is we're going shut, which isn't shut. Actually, that club face relative to your swing arc is at a 90-degree angle.
All right, so if you didn't catch that, that's going to be the feel versus real. They want the player to feel like it's actually shut, which means almost like the face angle is kind of turned down towards the ground image-wise. But in real, the face angle is going to be parallel to the spine, which just means it's probably 10 to 15 degrees closed at that particular point in the swing. So if you go to position 2 when the club shaft is parallel, you see the face angle kind of tilted this way ever so slightly. That's more so what they want to go for. That would be a neutral model, you could say. Before, let's say his face angle was, instead of being here, it was almost wide open at this point, maybe 20 degrees open on the other side. So that's kind of the main things they're trying to work on in the takeaway. Just get the face angle a little bit more shutter on the backswing, image-wise, and then from there in real, it's going to be more neutral.
Then it goes up here, and then when it comes down, you're feeling this. You feel where your right hand is?
Yes.
And then when you hit it, and your right hand goes this way. So take your hand off the club, set up here. Here's what your right hand does. It goes back like this. It goes up here. I'll start down.
All right, let's break that little section down really quickly. So right around the takeaway section, he's talking about this right wrist should be an extension, which is if you've ever done push-ups, look at your right hand when you're doing a push-up, that would be extension. You're trying to get that there. And then as you move it up towards the top, you're going to have a little bit of forearm rotation, which is going to get the club shaft a little bit on the flatter side, more laid off, which is what Malaska likes as well. But ultimately, he's just talking about the right wrist should go from this extended position, maintain that extension to the top, just add on a little bit of rotation. And then from here, he's about to talk about what you should feel on the downswing with the right wrist.
Slow, okay. You feel that?
Yes.
That's where we got to get your right hand. Now, if you just keep going and I let your fingers go and you let your wrist just go, relax your wrist. There you go. Just go with your hand. Go. That's what your swing should feel like. Go. Feel how it's...
All right, I want to pause it there one more time as well. So he's doing a very interesting support to this player, which he doesn't necessarily talk about. They're more so focused on the release of the right wrist, but not necessarily what they're doing in transition. So I wanted to break this part down because I'm almost positive this is exactly what they're doing. And this is a very important part of this overall process for a player who struggles with this. So typically when you have a really wide open face angle on the backswing, what happens is this extension amount in the right wrist almost immediately in transition starts to work back towards a flatter position. And then right before, probably right around P6, it's almost completely flat. And that's going to be that early release look, right? When the club head is beating the hands into impact. So for a player who has that issue, even if you strengthen their club head, they're still going to most of the time want to do this similar transition move. So he's actually supporting the right wrist by applying a little bit of pressure almost and trying to increase that angle in the transition. And he wants him to keep that wrist angle into that position until P6, right? So he doesn't want that right wrist going towards a flatter position too early in that section. You know, this is something they didn't necessarily say, but I can just tell by the way he's supporting him. I can see a little bit of pressure applied that way, and they're trying to make sure that he gets rid of kind of that early release with the right wrist angle.
Yes. Throwing, go. And now just unwind your body as you throw. You see what your hand's doing?
Yeah, goes and pulls.
And this is a very important part of the video as well when they talk about the throwing motion. So this is going to be the release. So they want to see that right wrist angle right here, this extension amount. As you start to go through impact, it should be consistently moving towards a flatter wrist. And then they don't give it a specific checkpoint, but I'm just going to give my checkpoint. Typically, you want to see the right wrist completely flat when it's going to be on the follow through and when the hands are going to be roughly hip high on the follow through. That's when you're going to want to see that right wrist completely flat at that point. But the big key point here, and they're about to bring it up, is when you're throwing, right, going from that extended position to more of a flatter position, you're throwing this way, but you're not rotating at the same time, right? So this forearm is not rotating towards a supination amount. You're actually just throwing the club head and not necessarily trying to actively rotate the forearm and wrist. That's a big key point in trying to minimize and reduce that flipping motion.
Target. Well, plus go. What your arm isn't doing is it's not doing this.
Not turning.
You're throwing. Go.
Yes.
There you go. So, here we go. Put your left hand on there. What you think is really strong and in your fingers. You're going to feel like the face shuts going back so that your right palm's facing the ground or the club face. Yeah, there you go.
All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube, but before you guys click off the video, let me give you some quick wrap-up points. So I think the main point here with Mike Blaska is this player was really opening up the face angle in the backswing, getting this right wrist to move towards a flatter position too early, and then adding on that huge, massive forearm and wrist rotation through impact. This is going to cause you to have an inconsistent starting line because face angle is directly correlated into the starting line. And then because you have massive variances between face angles on each shot, you're gonna have different starting lines and most likely different curvatures as well. It's something you want to avoid. So if this sounds like you, getting that grip a little bit more to that stronger side where you can see 3 to 4 knuckles will really help out. And then also having the image of getting the face angle a little bit more on the shutter side and then having it almost opening through impact will definitely help out as well. I really think the points where they talked about the right wrist and the movement in transition as well as through the follow through is definitely something I like to teach as well. It's more so what I call the door hinge release as opposed to kind of churning the ignition in a car. If you can get that concept and you're a big flipper out there, you're definitely going to find yourself hitting much straighter shots and you're gonna have a much more consistent face angle. But if you guys are still struggling, well, that's where the Kiwi Coach 6-month program comes into play. So check out that link down below. We'd love to help you out with your golf swing. If you want to watch this full video as well as a bunch of other videos on our membership site, sign up for that as well. It really helps support this YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.